Chapter 10 An Unlikely Friend. Gohan was lying in his hospital bed. He was going to be getting out of the hospital today. It probably would have taken long for a pony, but lucky for him he was a Saiyan, and they heal up quicker than others. He also guessed that he would also receive some sort of Senkai boost from the fight. The young Saiyan knew that would help, since he hadn't done any serious training since the Cell Games. He didn't think he lost a lot of power by not training as hard, but the boost would still help. Speaking of help, his friends dropped by as often as they could, feeling they had to be considering he had saved their lives. And also because of his tragic story. They still couldn't believe that somebody could have such a rough childhood. Twilight and Spike stopped by with various books. The pervert Alicon thought it would help him keep his mind off of being stuck in the hospital, and unlike Rainbow Dash, Saiyan didn't mind. He was enjoying the books she brought, especially the Daring Do books since they reminded him of his own adventures. He had also requested some actual studying material, for his mother's sake of course. In total, she had given him a big stack of books to read, and to his surprise he read all of them in a short amount of time. Pickabye brought several board games for them to play. Some were pretty challenging while others were just plain fun. Although for some he didn't quite fit the age parameters, but he still had fun. The pig pony also preferred a comedy routine for the young hero, but their soul had him laughing for hours. She was a much better joke teller than Krillin was. Pinky had also told him about the party she was playing once he got better. It sounded like the wildest party ever. Applejack tried her best to fit as often as she could, but with the amount of chores she had, it was hard to find time. Whenever she did this, she would bring various types of apple foods. It was mostly sweets, but it was still good. She also brought Big Mac and Apple Bloom one time, since neither of them really got to know Gohan. The two Apple family members took a look at the half-Saiyan, although Apple Bloom already liked him because he saved her life. The Orange Earth Pony couldn't say thank you enough for saving Equestria. She didn't think there was anything she could do to repay him, but he told her it was no big deal. He also thanked her a lot for the food, since it was much better than the hospital food. Remember that she didn't really have much to bring over to her for her injured, but the two did however strike up conversations about Daring Do. The young Saiyan had to admit that Daring Do was quite the pony. Rainbow could talk for hours about Daring Do, and she even told him about her adventure with the hero Pegasus. This in turn led him to talk more about his own adventures. There were stories he had left out during his big reveal. He told her about the time he met Lime and saved her and Phyllis from a greedy man. Other miscellaneous stories were told by both of them, and it really helped pass the time. Flashlight fetched the most out of any of her friends. She couldn't stand the thought of Gohan being in the hospital all by himself. Sure, he could handle himself, and being injured didn't seem to bother him, but the shy pony still wanted to check up on him. She would bring him food and also tell him how the animals were doing. Upon one of her visits, the half-Saiyan went into a little more detail about what the Earth was like, and that it was no surprise that it was similar to Equestria. Flashlight couldn't wait for her friend to be healed and out of the hospital. Her recovery was long without him there. Rarity didn't fit as obviously others did. She had been working hard on a new outfit for Gohan. The clothes she was wearing were in tatters, and there was no way she would let him wear rags. So she took it upon herself to make him a new one. Getting his measurements was kind of difficult, but she got them. Once his new outfit was done, she headed over to the hospital. Once she went over to his room, she opened the door and went inside. "I hope I'm not interrupting," she said. She set the box to get his clothes down. "Hey Rarity, how's it going?" The half-Saiyan asked, doing his best to sit up. "Well, it wasn't easy, but here's your new outfit." Rarity used her matching it over the box. She then showed him his replacement sheet, which was the second the same as the other one. This was the first outfit the mayor had made that wasn't for a pony, and she couldn't have been prouder of herself. The young Saiyan stared at it in awe. It was exactly what he wanted. "Wow, Rarity, it looks awesome. Thank you." To make things better, he would be able to put it on soon. "It was the least I could do. After all, you did save us from those ruffians." She smiled as she laid the clothes down on a nearby desk. "Listen, Gohan, I just want to apologize again for what I said. Sometimes my artistic eye can lead me to say things that are hurtful." "It's okay, Rarity. I know you didn't mean it." The young Saiyan wasn't really one to hold a grudge, especially towards his friends. A smile came across the mayor's face. "Thanks, Gohan. You really are a good friend. Most ponies I know wouldn't have gone out their way to protect us. And even though you were, you're also very polite." "Thanks, Rarity." He scratched the back of his head sheepishly. "You're all good friends, too." He receives a smile in response. Just then the doctor walked in the room. "Alright, Mr. Gohan, you should be free to go." The young Saiyan smiled as he jumped out of bed and threw off his hospital gown. The purple-haired unicorn looked at the young Saiyan's body, knowing just how muscular he was for an 11-year-old. A small blush came onto her face, if only because she thought back to when she was a filly. She often dreamed of marrying a handsome and muscular stallion when she was younger. Of course, those were just silly dreams. Although to this day she was still hoping for Prince Charming to sweep her off her hooves. Too bad Gohan isn't a pony. He reached into the box and pulled out the new outfit and began putting it on. After a few moments, he was fully dressed and was now putting on his boots. With his new clothes on, the Saiyan smirked. He felt good being his normal clothes again. The best part was that his new outfit was made out of pretty much the same material as his old one. It fits perfectly, he smiled. Well, I should be getting back to my boutique. Be sure to visit me, Ray told him before leaving. Gohan turned towards the window and opened it. He grinned as he jumped out of it. Now, just remember to take it easy for a little while. The doctor looked over and noticed not only was his patient gone, but the window was wide open. Putting two and two together, the stallion quickly figured out where his patient had gone. A sigh escaped his mouth. Why were the patients always leaving in a hurry? Now at the room, he began flying around, enjoying the sensation of not being bound to the bed anymore. A chug escaped his mouth as he soared through the air. The breeze felt wonderful against his face, and the view was magnificent. He continued his flight for a few moments before finally descending upon the grassy landscape. The half-Saiyan then thought about what he should do first. There were quite a few things to do now. He knew a party was in his future, but wanted to hold off on that a little while. He figured he should go back home and spend some time with Fluttershy, especially since she really missed him while he was injured. He was about to fly to her cottage when he heard something in the distance. What was that? The half-Saiyan wondered, all the while sensing someone not too far from his location. A white aura enveloped his body as he flew over towards the source. He eventually reached the clearing and noticed some female unicorn practicing magic. Come on, boulder, work with me, Unicorn shouted. She was trying to lift the giant boulder with the magic. She managed to lift it over her head, but couldn't hold it, and the boulder was now falling down straight towards her. Instinctively, the mare closed her eyes, awaiting her fate. Right before she was crushed, the boulder was destroyed by some kind of explosion. She looked up and saw some strange creature standing in front of her. Did you destroy the boulder? The unicorn asked in disbelief. He nodded as a smile came on his face. Yeah, I was about to crush you. Hi, I'm Gohan. Who are you? Unicorn let out a quick sigh before lifting her head up. I'm the great and powerful. Just call me Trixie. She figured there was no point in using her old title. Plus, she assumed that he was aware of what happened in her past, although she had never seen or heard of anything like Gohan quite before. So, what are you? Trixie asked. I'm a half Saiyan and half human from a planet that is also called Earth. I was brought here by a portal spell. She stared at him blankly for a few moments. Trixie had no idea what a Saiyan was, or a human for that matter, and she was also unaware of life on other planets. Plus, who would have brought him here? So what are you doing practicing magic out here all alone? He asked. Well, a sigh escaped her mouth. How she had to explain her story. I have basically turned myself into an outcast, so this is the only place I can be alone. It took the young Saiyan a few moments to put the pieces together. He suddenly knew exactly who this was. Wait, are you the same Trixie who enslaved Ponyville? There was a pause before the mare nodded. I guess my bad reputation is bigger than I thought, she sighed, all the while preparing for the insults that were sure to come her way. Why did you do that for anyway? For the most part, Trixie seemed very evil, and he couldn't really sense any evil in her. The same didn't take her for the title to assign Snapper turned evil. I want to revenge on Twilight Sparkle for humiliating me, but I guess even with the elegant amulet, I was no match for her. To her credit, she was more powerful than the purple opponent at the time. In fact, the only reason she lost was because of Twilight triggered her to think an ordinary negative could take great power. In reality, it was just a unicorn and her friends using illusions, which was very ironic the more she thought about it. So now everyone hates you? Gohan asked, feeling bad for the mayor. Sure, she made some mistakes in the past, but that didn't mean she couldn't change. Maybe it was just him, but he believed everyone deserved a second chance. I guess I deserve it. I do feel really guilty about it, though. Trixie never really felt guilty about anything. She almost always kept up the I'm better than every pony facade. Even after her first humiliation, she still kept on being her usual self. The only real reason she dropped the act was because after a while no pony bought it, especially after hearing about her talk taking over Ponyville. Maybe you just need to show people your good side, the young Saiyan suggested. I'm sure if you apologize, they will forgive you. I did, but they still think I'm an evil show-off. I just wish they would believe when I say I'm not evil anymore. No pony was willing to give her a chance. They all just saw the bad side of her. Deep down there was a good side to her, but she couldn't show it because nobody wanted her around. There was a pause before Saiyan spoke up. How about I help you? Isn't fair that you had to be shunned for something you regret. The sure unicorn's face lit up a little bit. Maybe this was her chance to be welcomed and loved again. You would do that for me? Of course, he smiled. Even without searching her feelings, he could tell she was serious about trying to change. Now let's get going. They decided to begin with Ponyville, since that was the same place that she conquered. The walk was short but also full of dread for Trixie. She knew that the ponies would show her nothing but hate. Even though her new friend assured her they would be okay, she was too nervous. The mare hadn't met Gohan before and knew nothing about him, but if he was willing to try and help her, all she could do was accept. At this point, she had nothing left to lose. The duo arrived at Ponyville and they couldn't even take a few steps before the unicorn was recognized. And it wasn't a good kind of recognition. She could see several ponies glaring at her. Other ponies either freaked out at sight of her or simply avoided looking at her altogether. The further into town she went, the more nervous she became. I don't think this is going to work, she whispered to her companion. All this unwanted attention didn't go unnoticed by Saiyan. Yet even the entire town against her at the moment Gohan was contacted would change their minds. Don't worry about it. You just need to talk to them. Go and show them the new Trixie, he encouraged. She made a sigh before walking up to an pony. Hello there, she grinned nervously, not liking the awkward silence that followed her greeting. Ah, Jesus got back to save us all! Somebody get Twilight Sparkle! He ran as fast as he could, not really caring where he was going. The other pony continued screaming, even after putting some good discipline between him and the mare. While he didn't exactly know the reason for the unicorn's return, he didn't care. All he knew was that he didn't want to stick around to find out. See what I mean? The mare deadpanned. Gosh, this is gonna be harder than I thought. The said no as he scratched the back of his head. Maybe we should just give up. Nobody would ever forgive me for what I've done. Just then Twilight Sparkle and Spike came out of the library, having heard all the screaming going on. By the looks of her, she was pretty annoyed. What is with all the screaming? I'm trying to study. She looked over and saw the young Saiyan. He smiled as he walked toward the alicorn. Hey, Twilight. Hi, Gohan. Good to see you out the hospital. Twilight stopped when she noticed Tricky walking up behind him. The duo looked at the scene in confusion. After a few moments, the purple mare narrowed eyes at the unicorn. Spike, I want you to go inside and write to Princess Celestia. We need to make sure the alicorn amulet is safe. Spike nodded as he ran back inside. It's been a while, Twilight. The silver mare's main pony nodded, all the while staring down her former adversary. What are you doing here, Trixie? The alicorn asked harshly. Although she had been taught to show kindness, she just couldn't help herself. Twilight hoped that after their first encounter that the show mare would change, but she was proven wrong as Tracy came back and saved Ponyfoot and her friends. Tracy glanced at the pony haughtily. I'm tired of being an outcast. I want to apologize to make things right. She received an unamused look. What? I'm telling you the truth. It was hard for Twilight to believe, considering all the things the mare had done in the past. Her big ego and selfishness were bad enough, but then she went crazy and slayed Ponyville. If she hadn't stopped the unicorn there was no telling what she could have done. Again, she didn't really like to hold a grudge, she just couldn't help it in this case. It's true, she's telling the truth, the absent stated, told me to help the unicorn's case. The purple mare looked between two and then sighed. Gohan, can I talk to you over here? She led her friend far away from the silver pony. Once far enough away, they could talk without any point eavesdropping. Listen, I know you mean well, but you should be careful. Drusy could be tricking you. After her humiliation the first time she came here, I let her leave. I thought if I gave her a second chance, she would learn her lesson. But clearly she didn't. The Hepsian nodded. He could relate to that story. Believe me, Twilight, I know what it's like to have people refuse another chance at life. Even after you show them mercy, they still refuse it. There were plenty of times when either he, his father, or his friends offered to Phelan a second chance, to leave and never harm anyone again. Unfortunately, that never happened, and those who refused that chance were killed. After a few seconds of thought, he took several deep breaths. Don't worry, I'm sure she just wants to make amends. If we give her a chance, I'm sure everyone will see how nice she can be. He says he glanced over at Trixie with a smile on his face. Troy was still a little unsure, but she was willing to give it a shot for his sake. Alright, Gohan. So how do we convince everyone that Trixie is reformed? He didn't really have a plan besides just telling every pony, and that obviously wasn't much of an option. The unicorn's previous encounter with another pony ended with lots of screaming. There had to be some way, though. Some kind of grand gesture to show the sense of Ponyfoot that Trixie had changed for the better. Maybe we could put on a performance. Trixie could save Pony from some danger. That would show every Pony that she isn't bad anymore, he suggested. It sounded a little crazy, but Twilight couldn't really think of anything else. That's actually a pretty good idea, but how are we going to put Pony in danger and make it look real? They both thought about it for a moment, trying to think of the perfect plan. After a few minutes of thinking, the Alicorn got an idea. It was pretty crazy, but it just might work. Okay, go on, here's the plan. She whispered the plan to her friend's ear. Trixie watched as the Alicorn and Sam went their separate ways. She wasn't sure how their little chat went, but luckily her new friend was coming back, and she wanted some details. So what did Twilight want? She asked, hoping that her former rival came up with the plan to help. It always seemed like Twilight came with great plans in these situations. Gohan frowned. She tried to come up with a plan to help you, but couldn't. It wasn't a total lie, but for the plan to work, he needed to keep her out the loop. Now what do I do? How can I show every Pony that I'm nice? The short unicorn sighed. She hung her head, thinking she might as well give up. She started walking away when somebody landed in front of her. Trixie stared at the Pony confused. The entire body was covered in some sort of outfit. They were also wearing a hat and a cape. Can I help you? It is I, the mysterious Mare Duel, the Pony shouted in a deep voice. The Tom's Pony came out hiding. They hadn't seen the cape here in a long time. Every Pony started to relax inside of Mare Duel. The hero must have come back to save Pony from Trixie. Yeah, that must have been it. They all smiled brightly at the hero. But I have not come here as a hero. Instead, I came to take over Ponyville. Every Pony's grain has started running around in panic. Why had that hero forsaken them? The Cape Pony started laughing, making the unicorn in front of them back up. A few moments later, the Max Pony saw a mysterious creature walk forward. Said creature then dropped to a fighting stance. I won't let you take over Ponyville, he shouted. The Cape Pegasus man laughed. Just try and stop me. The young Saint charged at Mare Duel with his fist raised. He threw a punch at the pony, but he missed. The next thing he knew, he was punched in the guts, sending him to the ground. He tried to get up, but the feeling kicked him away. Then Warren went skidding across the ground. He got to his feet and jumped through the air. Secondly, he flew down to attack Mare Duel. Whereas he was about to reach the pony, they turned around and bucked him, and he went flying through the air. He eventually crashed landing next to their mare. Gohan! Trisha, she ran over to him. He managed to sit up, but the last hit left him pretty injured. She's too strong. You ought to beat Mare Duel, Trixie. But I can't fight. I can barely keep a boat above my head, she protested. You can do it. I know you can. The unicorn hesitantly nodded and walked towards her foe. If it isn't great and powerful Trixie, how is it being an outcast? That struck a nerve with Trixie. It was one thing that she was an outcast, but being taunted because of it made her angry. She ran for an attack on Mare Duel to the ground. A smirk came onto her face. It seemed she had succeeded taking her foe down. Not so tough now, are you? Mare Duel merely headbutted the unicorn, sending her backwards. The fearless Pegasus flew Trixie and sucked in her cheek, forcing her to the ground. A chuckle escaped her mouth as they got on top of the unicorn and released several punches. The Max Pony laughed even harder as they continued to pummel the helpless mare with blows. Eventually, the unicorn harnessed her magic power and managed to ensnare her attack within a magic net. She then flung the Max mare off of her. Once free, Trixie got back on all fours, albeit with some effort. She could tell her face was full of bruises, and she even tasted blood in her mouth. Despite that, she stood confident. This wouldn't have been the first fight she got into. The Pegasus once again took to the skies, ready for yet another assault. With great speed, they charged at their foe. As soon as they were in the range, the pony threw a kick, and struck the unicorn in the nose. Mare Duel landed on the ground and quickly struck the hooves of the mare, making her fall to the ground. That was followed up with a kick to her gut, sending the mare rolling forward. So much for great and powerful, the Max Pony mocked. Trixie looked at her opponent with murderous rage. One could only be pushed so far. That does it! She got on all fours. Seconds later, her horn began to glow, and the R became bigger as time went on. Trixie is going to make you suffer! And how you plan on doing that? You're just a pathetic magician. Oh, I'll show you, pathetic magician! She yelled, only to realize she just insulted herself, basically. The mare shook off her self-insult and gathered all of her magical energy. Out of the corner of her eye, she saw a humongous boulder, and an idea popped in her head. A smirk came to her face as she successfully managed to lift the heavy rock. The silver-maned pony held it over her head for a few moments before bringing it apart into smaller rock chunks. Mare Duel was actually impressed. They didn't think Trixie was capable of such magical feats. Their shock would only increase upon gazing at the plethora of smaller rocks Trixie had created for herself. Not a moment later, the Max Pony was attacked by a barrage of rocks, and they were coming so fast the pony wasn't able to dodge. The Max Pony couldn't even fly to safety. They were helpless to defend themselves and thus took full force on the mare's attack. An evil laugh escaped Trixie's mouth as she marveled at her handiwork. Once the laughter walks were done, the mare took a second to catch her breath. She could see that her attack would let her fall dazed, and she knew this was her chance to finish it. With great speed, she galloped over to her opponent, and as soon as she was close enough, she turned around and bucked the Max Pony. The impact sent Mare-de-Well flying through the air, and they landed harshly on the ground. The Max package then flew up in the air, realizing the fight was over. "Curse you, Trixie! You have bitten me. For now, I will have my but I will have my revenge." With that, the Pegasus flew off in the distance. "Yeah, that's right. Don't play messes with tricks and gets away with it," the triumphant mare shouted to the heavens. Just then, every pony walked over to the victorious pony. Instead of being an angry mob, they were all happy. The once evil Shoal was now a hero. Trixie had saved them from a renegade hero. That was more than enough to prove that she had changed. "Hooray for Trixie! She saved us from evil!" the mare shouted. Every pony began cheering for the new hero. Gohan then walked over to his new friend. "Good job, Trixie. I knew you could do it." In response, the mare smiled sheepishly. "If you hadn't encouraged me, I wouldn't have intended to fight Mare-de-Well." She then gave her new friend a hug. "Thank you, Gohan. I guess it took only one pony to believe me." He smiled at her. "Just don't let this go to your head, okay?" Trixie nodded. "I already made that mistake once. And besides, I'm trying to show ponies I'm a nice and kind unicorn." Trixie walked up to her and gave her a hug. "I'm proud of you, Trixie. You really proved yourself today. I'm sorry I doubted you." "It's alright, Twilight. I can understand why you were hesitant." The assured unicorn smiled. "Well, if any pony needs me, I'll be on the ground." She then fell on the ground, her adrenaline from the battle just now wearing off. After a quick rest in the library, Trixie was ready to take a leave. Lucky for her, she had learned quite a few healing spells, just in case something bad had happened to her while traveling alone. So after healing herself, she went to the train station, and she was accompanied by her two new friends. There were more towns and ponies to apologize to. It was going to be quite a long journey. Yet she was excited. Soon enough she would be forgiven by every pony in Equestria. "Well, this is goodbye for now. I hope someday we can be friends, Twilight," Trixie said. She boarded the train candlelight. "I'd like that," Twilight said as the train left the station. "Goodbye, Trixie," Gohan yelled. "Goodbye, Gohan. Thanks for everything," she yelled back as the train left the station. Their other friends then walked up to them, having a few questions. "I'm guessing that Mare-de-Well attack in Ponyville wasn't real?" Applejack asked with a grin. Both Twilight and Gohan smirked as the mysterious Mare-de-Well landed next to them. Upon removing the mask, it was revealed to be Rainbow Dash. "How was that? Did it work?" Twilight went over to see Rainbow Dash as they came up with the plan. She explained that Trixie saying Ponyville Fun Threat was a great idea. So Rainbow agreed to put on that Mare-de-Well costume and pretend to take over Ponyville. It was not only a way to help the unicorn, but also test out her fighting skills on a real opponent. Every pony thanked Trixie for saving them. The plan was a success, the proud mare told her. Reddy raised an eyebrow. "So Gohan failing to stop you was part of the plan?" Three of them nodded. "I let myself lose so that I could encourage Trixie to fight. And then it was Rainbow Dash's turn to lose the fight." That was a good thing I did for her," Nan's pony noted. Twilight scratched the back of her head nervously. "At first I didn't want to help her out, but Gohan had faith in her, so I agreed." The singer received smiles from his friends. "My father wouldn't have given her a second chance, and I knew I couldn't let him down. Besides, it was fun staging that fight." Gohan added as they all shared a laugh. "Well, there you have it. Trixie seems to be on the path of friendship. I changed how they helped Trixie show her nice side. I feel like Twilight bringing a bear wasn't that good of an idea. Plus, we saw another character make a comeback, and who doesn't like to see old characters come back from the dead, so to speak? Besides that, I just added more dialogue and put in scenes with the main six visit Gohan in the hospital. I hope you enjoyed it, and be sure to R&R Future Shock.